All right, before we go on, I'd like to thank Ron right here, who has been helping produce the show. I might get him to do a mean, more porridge quote, because he does it amazingly. But anyways, right now, I guess we're going to move on and talk about Ahsoka. So I've written down 3 topics. We've already touched on some of them. But I want to talk about the world between worlds. I want to talk about finding Ezra, and I want to talk about the Katana fleet as it associates to Ahsoka. Go.
Go. All right. So a couple of things. Ahsoka, I think, first of all, just to set it, is it may be concurrent, and this Jason Ward has kind of put us on this path, concurrent with Mandalorian Season 2. And of course, you see Ahsoka right here, Mandalorian Season 2, and she shows up in the Book of Boba Fett just briefly. But here will be in that same path from Mandalorian Season 2. And Ahsoka is going to end up where the Katana fleet is. Or that's me borrowing the word from Heir to the Empire. She's going to end up where Thrawn's 9th fleet is. So the Ahsoka series is going to take her to where the Lost Fleet is. Let's put it that way. She is going to where the Lost Fleet is happening.
We know that they're together. Well, that's like confirmed.
Confirmed. 100%. 100%. There's some other things.
Do you think that she might get there by using the world between worlds, though? Because there's a big controversy. I'm not sure. I think that you're saying what the symbols that we see in the Ahsoka logo, are they associated with the world between worlds or no?
No.
Okay.
No. The symbols we see in the logo are the exact same symbols we see in the Lothal Temple from Rebels when Ezra gets his kyber crystal. And he's in the room, and he looks up in the dome above him, and the symbols we see in the dome above Ezra when he's talking to Yoda through the Force, same symbols. So that's in the Lothal Temple. Later, when we see Ezra enter the world between worlds, he's also in the Lothal Temple. Different place, different symbols, different color of the symbols. The symbols go from being white to being blue. The symbols go, they look different and they're different color. And so when Ezra goes into the world between worlds there, it's a different portal than when he sees this above his head. So I don't think this logo points to that. I think it's a star chart of portals.
Okay.
I think it's a star chart of Jedi temples. I think Jedi temples and portals are not necessarily they're like the same thing, right? They're the same places. Jedi temples are purposely built at like Force Nexus, where people can build these portals to the world between worlds. And there's even been thought and talk that whenever Jedi are communicating through the Force, like we see Luke and Leia do it in Empire Strikes Back, right? In Cloud City.
Yeah.
And Luke's hanging down at the bottom.
We have to go back. Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that communication is through the conduit. Through that is the world between worlds.
Well, this brings up another thing let's talk about Rey and Kylo and the end of Rise of Skywalker, because my whole theory on that is that whole and you sent me something. You sent me some a excerpt from the book version, and I think that puts the nail in the head, because it says the spaces between spaces, and it also mentions the fact that some of the Jedi are still alive. So the voices that she hears could be from the world between worlds also.
Yes.
And Rey's voice is in the world between worlds in the episode we're watching right now. Like, if you put it on the subtitles, you see her voice as one of the voices that are in there.
Exactly. Not only that, but also Ahsoka's voice is one of the voices Rey hears when she's on Exegol. So I think this is just a theory. I think that Ahsoka is going to see World Between Worlds. She's looking for Ezra.
Right.
And in the World Between Worlds, she has these portals to different places. And she could go back to, say, the end of Rebels and see where they were purgled out. And she can explore in there and try to find, where is he? Right? She won't go through the portal to get him, but she's going to find where he is. And in that exploration, she very well could look through a portal and see Rey fighting Palpatine on Exegol.
Right.
And tell Rey.
I think we're going to see it multiple times because there's two different Ahsoka voices. There's the cartoon version and there's multiple Anakins, I know for sure. There's a whole shit ton of different Jedis, and we might see all of them at different times, different periods.
Yes.
Go through the World Between Worlds and talk to her, but they're all there, but not at the same time.
Yes, and emotional evolution in chat is correct. She'll see what could be in the World Between Worlds, because there is also another confirmed scene where Ahsoka will see herself in place of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Mustafar fighting Anakin.
Yeah.
At the end of Revenge of the Sith. Like that whole scene, she's going to see herself there, and she's going to see that had she been there or had Obi-Wan been there, the same thing happens to Anakin. Right? Either she does it or Obi-Wan does it. The kind of fate plays itself out one way or the other. And so she understands that she can't change what happened to Anakin. Anakin's path was Anakin's path. And so not only are we going to see things that did happen, we're going to see things that could have happened, and she's going to be exploring the World Between Worlds, and she's going to see a lot of these things. And I think we'll see her go to. Here's a prediction, and it's based on some information that's not been shared publicly. I think that Ahsoka will go to Lothal. I think Ahsoka is going to go to that same Lothal temple where Ezra was, and she's going to see that same star chart, and she's going to see where the World Between Worlds portal was. We know that Thrawn has that taken out, and it would
be a quick way. So instead of her going out through space and trying to find Ezra, if she used a portal somehow, she could just step right on the Katana fleet or whatnot, is the way I see it. And then all of a sudden, she like, wherever they are, she's right there. You know, like she sees some confrontation between Ezra and Thrawn, is behind Ezra's back and ends up saving him. I don't know. I don't think she'll. Is how we would.
I don't think she'll go through the portal.
Right. She could pull Ezra back through, though.
She could, if she could communicate to him. Right. Just like I said, I think that Yoda was communicating to Ezra through the World Between Worlds. I think that Ahsoka was communicating to Rey through that. I think her hearing Rey through it. All of these things in the World Between Worlds where they can communicate. They can, and I even think on Exegol when Rey passed the lightsaber to Kylo, that was through a World Between Worlds portal. And so I don't think she's going to go through, because the post-credit scene in Rebels, she goes and gets Sabine and says, I know where Ezra is, let's go. And they go get in her ship and they fly off.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's how that ends, though. It's like, oh, we got this. Okay.
And we've seen the scene in the publications of that same wall, right? Where Sabine is there looking, and then Ahsoka comes up. Ahsoka the White, right? She comes up. So World Between Worlds, I'm quite certain we're going to see it. I think we'll see Ahsoka go in, or we'll see her communicating through. I think we may see her communicate directly with Rey. I see there's some scenes that we know she's going to see, and she's going to end up where the Lost Fleet is. 100%. That's happening.
Okay, since we're ending on the fleet, we'll move right on to Skeleton Crew, because I think it's time.
Yeah.